The Year in Agriculture. Hello everyone and welcome to our review of this past year in agriculture. I'm Gerard Lampow, and over the next hour we'll take a look at some of the issues that affected agriculture in our region. Well, this year started with lots of promise as the snowpack melted and producers got into seeding season. Then low rainfall from May through June triggered many areas to declare agriculture disasters, with producers counting up their losses and awaiting provincial and federal help. For cattle ranchers, the battle over country of origin labeling lingered into the fall, with Ottawa threatening retaliation on American goods if Washington didn't remove the contentious laws. Let's look back at 2015, a year in agriculture. Well, firstly, we asked, if you could look into a crystal ball, what would the future hold for agriculture this year? In March, Farm Credit Canada held its Ag Outlook 2015 in Lloydminster to answer this question.
That is going to be an issue for us.
Farm Credit Canada recently invited area producers to a half-day of presentations at Lakeland College. Seeding season is around the corner and farmers are looking to harvest some added grains of knowledge in their quest to bring in this year's crop.
I think today's conference is about seeing the challenges for 2015 and then understanding what the opportunities are as well.
Gervais points to the volatility in the market with the drop in the interest rate as well as the economic impact of the downturn in oil.
The idea now is that with the oil sector not doing so well, that maybe we're going to have a little bit of relief.
Well, it sounds like one of the guys was saying that the oil is kind of maybe mellowing out a little bit more, kind of going straight across. And grain prices, he was saying maybe might be going up and up a turn. Do I really believe that? I think they might go up a bit.
While this farmer says he will be cautious in his decision-making, another producer sees an opportunity in what he heard.
I found it quite interesting that there's 2.5 billion people between China and India that are coming into middle class, which should make a big difference on the need for food in the world.
At the end of the day, we're in a very global marketplace, right? Wherever you are, and especially here in Lloydminster, I mean, we're producing is being sold in all around the world, and so you have to understand a little bit of what's going on in the world to be able to make the right decisions.
Well, the calving season was good for area producers this past April. With beef prices riding high, it's a good time for the industry. We visited one area producer as he was getting his calves ready for sale.
Well, I'll be doing a combination of both. I'll sell a few in the fall and keep some for the grass market in the spring.
This area producer is tending to his herd following calving season. Cattle prices are up and cattle ranchers are literally making hay while the sun shines, as they know that that was not always the case.
Some people like to market them in the fall. They like to grow them up as fast as they can and then get them to market, September, October.
After calves are born, it's important to understand the process between birthing and getting them to market. Everything from vaccination to when they can feed in the pasture on their own.
Some people like to calve a little later and maybe market them in the spring here and try and catch a grass market.
Cattle producers have seen tough times, and this producer recommends a fallback position.
And even in farming, unless you're a big operator, it's good to have a trade or something else that you can do when times aren't so good.
This second-generation rancher is following in his father's footsteps as he gets the calves ready for market. They feed on hay now, but when the grass turns green, they will graze on their own. The present bullish market gives added reason for optimism.
There's future in the ag now. It looks promising. The grain end of it could be a little better, but maybe that'll come back. And the cattle sector, well, it's never been better.
Well, the grain transportation fiasco of 2013 remains a thorny issue for ag producers in the prairies, and some are not happy with how the government of Saskatchewan is dealing with the issue. This as the province has chosen to not extend the previous order in council that forced the railways to carry a minimum amount of grain to market.
It hurt our markets domestically and offshore.
Untouched grain still sitting in silos. This was the scene for many producers during the bumper crop of 2013. Too much product with no way to get to market. The federal government was forced to act, making railways carry the grain under threat of fines.
When the railways were required to deliver a minimum number of cars each week or they would be penalized, they obviously did what you'd expect. They picked the low-hanging fruit.
That order lasted until this year, with the Saskatchewan government holding the option to renew, which they did not.
So since we're not really projecting an abnormal carryout of supplies at the end of the crop year, we did not ask for the minimum grain movement requirements to be extended because we recognize that they did what they were supposed to do, and that is get rid of the grain backlog.
That decision does not sit well with the Agricultural Producers Association.
It is unfortunate that the federal government decided to not renew it. The federal minister has said that we will be looking at a 10 million ton carryout.
Both sides agree that Saskatchewan producers did not get the best deal from the rail companies. A review of the Canadian Transportation Act is due in December, but the crisis of rail movement has gotten stakeholders thinking in the same direction.
There is some optimism that maybe this time we will have, I don't know if it'll be the fix, but improvements that will make grain transportation much more palatable in Western Canada.
And our Agriculture Year in Review continues after this break. Do stay with us.